afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How do you guys start videos? So we're not really good at it.
Hey guys.
We're back. That's what we always say.
I think that was our thing. We're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, we're back.
You think we would know already. We've been doing this for a year.
I know. You guys, we are back with a slash of... Is it anything to do with ACOTAR?
Yeah, actually.
That's what I'm saying. Not slash. Yeah. ACOTAR slash Crescent City.
House of Sky and Breath.
House of Sky and Breath. Well, just Crescent City theories. Our first one.
Now, we have found a ton of theories regarding Bryce, Rune.
Do you guys remember when we were like, we're running out of theories?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We're not.
Sarah J Maas.
Thank you for supplying us with more. My goodness. Yes, we found some theories. The one thing is they're still new. I mean, not a lot of people have finished these books, and there's not... What?
I love how we're relying on others to get it for us. We're so terrible.
Thank you.
Listen.
We have never
I know
that we are good at this.
But
we just relay it.
Yes, we do think about things ourselves, but we're
not
just
good
not really
enough
good at it. But
or
this
not in depth
one,
enough to go on.
We give all the credit to you guys. You guys know that all the time. So
yes, but we're excited because now this has opened up. Listen, you guys, we thought things had opened up before and it could go this way, this way, this way.
Now there's like multiple directions. Like,
I mean, if you guys have read House of Sky and Breath, the ending was like, what? And now we have opened up.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, it's going to just be crazy. Multi-universe of how it's going to go anyway.
Again, I'm sure this is, pretty self-explanatory. If you're watching this video, you're going to get spoiled.
Yeah, so don't watch it if you haven't
Don't watch
read it.
this video if you do not want to be spoiled for House of Sky and Breath, or if you have not finished Silver Flames or any ACOTAR book, just stop this video.
Just go read them and then come back.
Yeah, because you are going to be spoiled.
And now you really have to read them because now it's just like opening up a lot more stuff.
But I kind of wanted to share because we have been talking about, we have the old looking
we have the paperback
Sarah J Maas books, which they're not my favorite. I'm not too big of a fan of people on the front. It kind of, I don't know, I don't really like it.
those ones didn't bother me so bad though.
Yes.
I don't think.
So I have started collecting.
Slowly but surely.
It's like my gift to myself every time I get paid from work. So I don't spend a whole bunch of money at once.
At least it won't take you that long to catch up.
No. So it's just me saying, okay, just one at a time is good enough for me. We have started collecting, or I have, the ACOTAR hardback. New.
Is there anything on the cover? Like anything on
no, but it's just really pretty. It's like neon colors.
Well, actually, I thought that one was orange. Yeah, it's like
and then this one has the bird on it. This one has Tamlin on it. I'm assuming it's
probably
whatever.
Yeah, Tamlin. I thought it had the arrow in him. It's Andres or something.
Oh, it has Andreas or whatever. And this one's just a teal. So it's really pretty. I like these a lot better than I like those.
I'm not even that big of a fan of those covers. I'm like, I don't know. I thought it could be better, but I was like, okay, I'll get mine too, and I got what is this edition?
The special edition,
the collector's edition. Which I'm obsessed with. It has a little like bug pulley thing.
She couldn't quite understand it when she got it.
Having fun with. I'm like, wait, I don't understand it, but I got it. I figured it out, and I love it because look at this. Here's Sarah, and then if you open it, there's Andres or Andreas.
I think.
It's Andris.
Whatever
his name is. Look how gorgeous that is. I love it. And then not just that, but look at this beauty. Love it.
Pretty.
Now, and then I love like her pages have this and like the little scrolls. Okay, so my one thing is that I don't like is I would love to collect all of the books in a form like this.
Maybe she'll do that.
But we have noticed that Sarah J Maas only does her first book of her series like this. Oh, sorry. Oh, I put it. upside down. Whatever. Throne of Glass only has the first book. And I don't know if they've done one for Crescent City yet.
Probably not.
But they probably will soon. So anyways, I'm obsessed. Love it. So I got this. So we finally have started our collection of Going Forward. I'm like, do I wait a little bit and get the second book and hope and pray she makes a nice one like that, or what? I don't know.
Well, yeah. So we were quite proud.
Yeah, we were like giddy.
We're like, yes. Now we're like, we're getting to be like other booktubers.
Book nerds we are.
Yeah.
We get like all excited over a book. We're like, yes.
I'm like the man. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna go buy my next one. Yes, Christmas has come. So,
what are you guys doing tonight? Oh, we're going to buy a book.
Yeah. On a Friday night, right? It's like, I'll meet you at Barnes & Noble. Okay. So, all right. So we're going into this
We live on the wild side.
Yeah, we do. We're going on to this new theories of which now include House of Sky and Breath.
So it's kind of, this is going to be a mishmash. So what are we going to call it? We have to have a new category. Before we have ACOTAR theories. Now it's going to have to be like ACOTAR Crescent City theories.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are just now probably going to be combined.
Gonna be
I mean, a majority of them.
You'll still find certain ones, I'm sure, that we can still touch on, but it seems like we're going to be going
Yeah,
there, so.
but Sarah releasing this book has now spun everything.
I mean, this book,
yeah.
this was just like totally threw me for a loop.
Yeah, and we do a lot of Azriel and Gwen and Elaine, and we're now venturing off into other ones. This one does include Azriel, but it does include other things as well. So, but we have like a rune one, a rune theory. We have Bryce. We have the Dusk Court. We do have more theories.
Gwen and Therian. Oh yeah, there's a few. Okay.
I just thought this one made kind of sense to do now.
And more will come. The more that people read and they spend more
the
time.
The more that people do the research and give it to us.
And then you can come watch it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is from Tumblr, House of Hurricane, which...
She has a few.
Yeah, which she dives into a lot of things. And I'm going to kind of go on and research some more of what, she has done. Thank you, House of Hurricane on Tumblr.
Thank you. We like your stuff so far.
So this is House of Sky and Breath spoilers, so beware. So I'm going to go on. She says, while I'm reluctant to make too many claims about what House of Sky and Breath might tell us about the upcoming books in the ACOTAR series, I think it does make one thing clear. Azriel's book is next. Which...
We've heard Elaine's book is
yeah,
next.
like I'm kind of confused. I'm like, well, I thought it was Elaine, but then... It kind of does make sense why it probably should be Azriel.
We have said that actually before. It makes more sense to be Azriel because he has two girls.
Yes.
So it makes more sense to be Azriel's story, and then we find out which way it goes.
Yeah.
But it also makes sense for it to be Elaine in regards of
the three sisters. But yeah, so I don't know. Like, but this, her House of Hurricane makes some good points in this where it's like, okay, well, maybe it is Azriel. So I don't know.
Well, let's hear.
Yeah. So let's start with the obvious. Azriel is the one who finds Bryce in House of Sky and Breath, page 793, and he's the one who wields Truth Teller, the twin weapon to the Star Sword. Okay. Anyone who could winnow or fly could have found Bryce at the end of House of Sky and Breath. We would have recognized Cassian about as quickly as Azriel. And can you imagine if Feyre had been the one to find her? I don't think that with this moment Sarah J Maas was going for fan screams. I think she was foreshadowing, and I think it's likely Azriel was uniquely able to detect Bryce's presence, which could have enormous implications. I've heard some theories too about Bryce and Azriel, which
she just told me that one today.
We
and
will
I'm
dive
still
into.
Not happy.
I was
it's
like,
Hunt. They're mates.
Wait, what?
Remember, they're mates.
I think that's one thing us Ariels and Gwenreels would be like, no, we can agree on. I know that Nesta will likely be an important character in this arc because of her ability to locate objects made by the cauldron. But it's notable that she isn't highlighted in the final chapter of House of Sky and Breath. Her powers will come into play, but perhaps they're not central. Moving on to Truth Teller, which actually, going back, I do believe
her seer abilities.
Yes.
Okay.
I do believe, I agree. I do think Nesta is going to have a big role in this because, you know, in Silver Flames, going back with the Dusk or the prison, which, you know, they think was a former court, you know, the Dusk Court, whatever. So I do think.
I also think
and then with the heart.
Elaine will too, just in regards of her seer capabilities as well.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do. And we're going to like learn. I could see them both having a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to Truth Teller. We know from House of Earth and Blood that the Star Sword needs to be reunited with its twin knife in order to reunite the Fae, which, yes, we read that also in House of Sky and Breath.
Did anyone ever think, and did anyone ever, before this whole book came out, and we knew that things were going to start to cross, like I think a lot of us thought that, but did anyone ever think that Truth Teller was the twin to what is it, Star Sworn? What is the
Star Sword.
Star Sword.
I figured it out reading House of Sky and Breath.
Yeah, I'm saying anything before. Did anyone ever start to kind of connect those or no? Okay.
I didn't, because I'm not smart at that.
Neither am I.
I did kind
in the
of
book
figure
I
it
was
out
starting to
in
think.
House
Yes,
of Sky and
I
Breath.
agree. Me too.
But no, not before that. It finally was like ding, like a light. I was
Ding,
like,
what? Wait.
Yeah.
We're probably the last two to think about it.
That's okay.
That's okay. We're special.
This might mean the meeting at the end of House and Sky and Breath, or it could mean more, particularly if Bryce needs to take Truth Teller back with her to Midgard.
Do you really think Azriel will let her give that up? He doesn't let anyone touch it.
But if it's the twin, if it's the twin to Star Sword, it's I mean, he will obviously if it's to reunite and to help. Yes. So it could mean that Azriel has to travel with Bryce.
There you go.
Or it could mean that Bryce just needs to take the knife with her. If she takes the knife, though, she will likely need to bring it back, especially since it's Azriel's. And this is a character who sleeps with a dagger under his pillow, which it specifically is the Truth Teller, right? Either way, this involvement is going to have some impact on his arc. At minimum, Azriel somehow got this very special blade in his possession. It marks him in some way, but it could mean even more. After all, Bryce has to travel through worlds sometime in the course of the next book, which I agree. She's gonna, whether she's a short stint in Prythian or a long stint.
Yeah, because there's also, this girl actually has it that she thinks it's gonna be very short.
Yes, my personal belief, I think she's gonna be there a little bit longer.
I think she's gonna learn her powers.
Yes, I think Rhys and Amren are gonna play a big role in helping.
I personally feel like she'll be there a little bit. I think of when I think about it, I think of a Throne of Glass's Air Fire. Is that it? I think it's Air Fire. And I know it's that book. I just hope I'm saying the title right. And she goes and Selena has to learn about herself, so she's Aelin, and learn her magic and powers and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like same vibes there.
Yeah, I agree.
This book really reminded me a lot of Throne of Glass in some ways.
After all, Bryce has to travel through the world sometimes in the course of the next book. We already said that. I'm sorry. Whether to Hell, Midgard, or back to another planet. What we don't know is whether she will go there alone. While any ACOTAR character who can winnow seems like a potential candidate for traveling with Bryce, assuming that power can link up with the horn, Azriel seems the likeliest because, as Nesta and Cassian point out in Silver Flames, his ability to winnow is different from that of the other characters. So here's a quote from Silver Flames. Illyrians do possess magic on one night a year, though the night before the blood rite, when the warband leaders can winnow the drugged novices into the wilds. Don't even ask me why that is. No one knows. Azriel can winnow all the time, though. Az is different. In a lot of ways, his tone didn't as is different in a lot of ways. His tone didn't invite further questioning. And that's Silver Flames, page 191. So she goes on to say, it is possible that his unique method of winnowing, which based on Mist and Fury and Silver Flame, seems to be tied to being a shadow singer rather than the usual winnowing power in Prythian, could make him an ideal candidate to travel with Bryce, with her connection to the Avalon Fae. In terms of knowledge and motivation, there are only a few characters in ACOTAR who seem particularly interested in other worlds.
Well, and can I pause right there? Plus, Azriel, that's his job in a lot of things, that he has to be the one to go and spy and leave. So it just seems like it would be his kind of job regardless.
It makes sense. Yes, for sure. So we're gonna, so Rhys, Amren, Meryl, Gwen, and Azriel are all interested in other worlds. They're the ones researching everything. Cassian points out Rhys and Azriel's interest early on in Silver Flames. Amren has a vested interest and first-hand knowledge of other worlds, which I do remember, yes. And Gwen is helping Meryl research her theories of other worlds. I think it's reasonable to assume that these characters are going to be important during the Bryce and Prythian arc. Makes sense. Incidentally, I also think, you're not going to like this one. Incidentally, I also think that this is another subtle hint that Azriel and Gwen are going to be drawn together more in the next ACOTAR books.
Why? Please enlighten me.
But because they're going to have to work together because they both research other worlds. That's what she was referring to.
That's a job. I work with other males too.
But let's assume that happens in ACOTAR 5, not in what I think will be Bryce's relatively short stint in Prythian. See, she thinks it's going to be a short stint.
We shall see.
Yeah. Finally, in Silver Flames, we see Azriel's shadows curl around him, snakes ready to strike. In House of Sky and Breath, Sarah J Maas describes Rune's shadows in a similar fashion, writing that his shadows swirled up his left arm like twinning snakes. Not only are their powers similar, though Azriel's abilities are more like Cormac's with the shadows, plus winnowing and no Demonte abilities. But Sarah J Maas uses the same metaphor to describe them. She wants us to see this. I agree. Sarah J Maas puts things in for a reason. So while Bryce directly compares Rune and Rhys, we know that Rhys's arc in ACOTAR is more or less complete, which I kind of agree with.
I would too. He's going to be more of a side character, still part of it, still have a role in it.
Unless he becomes the high king.
Which actually that'd be a fun story. I don't think that would happen yet, though.
No, and he still has to get all the other High Lords to back him in that.
But he's kind of stuck.
Yeah, true. But there's really not much further,
But he's stuck because of what he's done.
Yeah, and he also has the bargain with Feyre.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
That leaves him vulnerable, making him a bad candidate to go to other worlds or lead
because if he leaves and if he dies, Feyre dies.
Yes.
Or they both go together, but remember they're linked now.
Which that kind of is sad for their son.
They didn't think that through.
I was kind of like,
as much as I get it, before you have a child.
One. Yeah.
Before you have a child, you're like, yeah, this is what we want, and then you have a kid.
I know you love each other very much, but now you have a kid,
Well, I mean, at least Elaine and Azriel can raise him.
Elaine can just be a good aunt, and it can be Azriel and Gwen. Just kidding. Azriel, meanwhile, feels more disconnected from the inner circle. I do also agree. He's more, he's a part of it, but he's more the quiet, off to the side one.
He was like, I don't think he cares to, he loves it. It's not that he doesn't want, he feels left out. I think he's just
he's
fine.
not one to
be here. Yeah.
He's not a gossiper. No. He's not anything like that.
He more likes to tend to Elaine.
Yeah. She says, So after she said, did I say yes?
You're like, yeah.
Oh, I was trying to read on. I was trying to find my spot.
Keep going.
No, Gwen. So he feels more disconnected from the inner circle. She says, see his bonus chapter in Silver Flames. There are no page numbers, which I can't tell you where that would be.
Where it's at.
And as Spy Master and Carathian, yeah, is able to gather information while being an active warrior. There are a lot of possibilities for what he could do, even if it's just passing along information while he hands Bryce Truth Teller. In terms of other similarities, this is how Bryce describes Azriel's wings. Great black wings, a demon's wings. Mm-hmm. This invokes Hunt's description of Apollyon's wings. Wings wrestled nearby, not the soft feathers of his wings, but something leathery.
Leathery.
I don't know why my tongue's saying it. Dry. We know that Bryce needs to go to hell, and we know that hell is not a literal hell, but rather another world. Mm-hmm. The comparison between Apollyon's wings and Azriel's, the Illyrians, isn't an accident. Since we are likely going to see hell in Crescent City 3, the similarity is likely to be important. Given all the mysteries that swirl around Azriel, his possessions of Truth Teller, his interest in other worlds, and his connections to some pivotal characters in House of Sky and Breath, it seems likely that Crescent City 3 is going to set up his arc in ACOTAR 5. As Sarah J Maas once said, it seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, it seems pretty obvious.
I have to
Azriel's,
agree.
or it seems pretty obvious as Elaine's.
Well, I kind of agree because she put the bonus chapter was Azriel's. So
yeah, no, I agree.
I totally see that. That's why I was like.
Do you remember when we first started our theories on ACOTAR? We both said that. We said it has to be Azriel's book. We both said that. And then someone told us actually it has been confirmed that it's Elaine's. It was on like an Instagram live, I believe, or something like that she said it. And just I thought it was pretty obvious. And now, which it was on Instagram Live, but I don't think we have ever actually personally seen that where it said it was Elaine's book.
Yeah, like to me personally, even if Elaine is involved, I feel like it's going to be more, it makes more sense to me. It's going to be centered more around Azriel.
It could be Azriel's book. Maybe it's not with Elaine and Elaine still gets her own book.
Maybe, because it just seems
or
like.
vice versa. It's Elaine's and then
makes
it goes
sense.
to Azriel.
That would be Azriel's because we got that bonus chapter. Elaine didn't get a bonus chapter in any of the exclusive editions Silver Flames.
And it also makes it more sense that it would be Azriel's because if it's Elaine's book, it's not easy to put Gwen, like their relationship. It's easier to be Azriel's relationship with both girls. Yeah, because if there is a love triangle, it has to be Azriel's thoughts. Well, that's what our original thought was. Yeah, it was gonna be Azriel.
But you know what? We shall see. We don't know. Maybe
after Crescent City 3, we'll get more.
The only reason why I can see it would be Elaine is because of the three sisters getting a book. But her getting a book just. I agree. It just didn't make sense to me yet.
It could open it up I think this next book, regardless, we're going to learn about Elaine. And it could open it up enough that we know more about Elaine, that people will get more excited for Elaine to have her own book. Because right now everyone's like, oh, she's boring. I don't want anything to do with her. But I think this next book is going to introduce her more. We're going to see a lot more of her. And that maybe if she doesn't end up with Azriel, it will set up for her own book.
Yeah.
With Lucien. Because then I would think she would go with Lucien. I honestly think if it's not Azriel, it's Lucien. Yeah.
So, one person commented on this post saying, Az and Rhys both have the Avellen, A-V-E-L-L-E-N. How do you say it? I don't know. Avellen connections. Rune's shadows sometimes act like Az's, but his night stuff seems more Starborn related. So, and then someone says, oh, definitely. I think they're both going to be key players for sure. I just think that the greater number of mystery similarities surrounding Azriel, I agree, makes him likelier to be a focal point even more than the last chapter of House of Sky of Breath may suggest. And then this person says they also agree. The focus is on as for sure. We need to know how he found the blade, when, where, before or after the blood rite. Frankly, I think the only reason Rhysand spoke at the end was because he was the only one besides Amren who knew a little bit of Bryce's language.
Yeah,
I agree. And then someone says, I think the dagger and the sword have opposite powers and are thus drawn to opposites. The sword stands for light and the dagger for shadow and darkness.
And also, what did you say about Rhys's involvement? Also, what I also look at it as, it also clarified and made it like, it cemented it, if that makes sense, that it was ACOTAR.
Yes.
It just gave that like,
that's right.
I think you really needed it to be Rhysand to say, I'm Rhysand.
Yes.
And that's because it's his, like, he's like, it's, it's Prithian. He's like high lord, like he's like the best. And, you know, so I think you needed it to be him.
Yeah. So going back to the sword and dagger the sword stands for light and the dagger stands for shadow and darkness. This would make Bryce and Azriel opposites. And I'm really curious to see what happens when they work together.
That'd be kind of fun.
And
Especially Bryce's personality.
Yeah.
Azriel's like...
He was already huffing and puffing with her. He was like, ugh, when, she appeared and she's like,
yeah.
He's like, oh gosh.
He's like, get Rhysand here.
Yeah. And then there was a funny comment. Someone said, dang, you have a good point now. So that's exactly what we all feel like.
Like, we always fall for every theory. We always are like, as I see it. We don't want to see it. We see it.
That is the theory of today, of right now.
So it's kind of like, is Azriel's book kind of going to be the next one?
Yeah.
Is he the one that's going to actually... So what are we going to title this one? Is he the one that's actually going to be going with Bryce?
Yeah, I would say is Azriel's book next.
Yeah.
Or is it Elaine's?
Well, I think it's going to be after Crescent City 3, no matter what. It is going to be Crescent City 3.
I do too.
And then it will be after Crescent City. What are we going to name this one? We'll have to figure it out.
But now I am curious to know, are him and Bryce going to work together? Are some people think him and Bryce are going to get together and Gwen and Elaine are just going to be left to their own devices?
I believe Bryce is going to be there to train a little bit. Hone in her powers, just like everything she needs, okay? And who better to train her than Cassian, Rhysand, and Azriel? So it does leave it that could there be a romance? Maybe when we have said this, watch, it will be Elaine or Gwen, and we're gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
Opened up to a new character. I really feel like it still will be between Gwen and Elaine myself, but you never know. Maybe it's none of that. Maybe Elaine goes with Lucian, Therian goes with Gwen. And Azriel and Bryce. I mean, but no.
Sarah really would have thrown us all for a loop because look at, like, everyone's like, I'm a Gwen Real, I'm an Ariel. What would you call Azriel and Bryce? Bryriel?
No, I'm not. She's mated with Hunt.
I know.
But people will say what I say. Well, it was tricked. Well, I don't think so. The smell's different.
But,
only I want it to be my way, I think that.
There are still a lot of theories going around that Hunt may die.
That's true. We have seen some that we think Hunt will go.
Someone did say
die.
Hunt is not, which I don't know if I entirely agree with this. I saw someone write that they don't feel like Hunt is really progressing Bryce. He's just there as a love interest for her.
I love him.
I do too. I personally do as well. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know.
If he dies, I feel like it'll be going to save Bryce or like trying to help her.
Yeah, for sure. There is definitely, they do love each other very much. There's no doubt in anybody's mind for that.
Oh my goodness. Don't take Bryce and Hunt away. I love them. Anyway, well, that's our first theories with our little like crossover between Crescent City and ACOTAR. ACOTAR and Crescent City. So anyways, let us know what you think. Let us know some theories you guys have. I know we have a few on our comments, so we're gonna start delving into these now. We're really excited. It's fun. It just opened up a whole new gaming world for us. So anyways, that's it.
Yay!
We're excited. Please subscribe and like, especially if you want to hear more theories coming.
Yep.
And thank you guys for providing them for us.
Thank you.
Anyways, we will see you guys soon. Bye.